I just had so much fun with her. And she was 7 months pregnant doing this movie. I was like, are you okay? Like I could barely get out of bed when I was pregnant, and she's running across the beach.
Over the next 9 weeks, you will be trained and tested. Most of you will not pass.
Mama, is that an astronaut?
Not with my tax dollars, she's not.
Is this thing hard to land or what?
I really enjoyed your guys' dynamic in this. You have a great back and forth that's very natural. What was the key to playing convincing lifelong friends?
We don't get along at all. No, we I don't know, like literally Poppy and I just met, and first of all, I'm a fan of hers and think she is a true comedic genius. Like I love her on Hacks. And she just brought like so much to Nadine, and I felt like made me a better actress. And I just had so much fun with her. And she was 7 months pregnant doing this movie. I was like, are you okay? Like I could barely get out of bed when I was pregnant, and she's running across the beach. So I bow down and love her.
Answer was also no, I was not okay. After the running scene that night, I was like, I can't move. I was like, I'm dead. I've died. This is the end. But I mean, same. I feel like, okay, for any project, if you're number one on the call sheet, whether you want to or not, how you are as a person ends up being the culture on set. And like to Emma's credit, like when I came, I was really excited to be part of it, but it felt very much like this is like this is like Liz and Emma's like, like thing. And I think just like the love and care and like welcomeness and like loveliness that Emma brought immediately, it was just easy to be like, besties in the film. In between takes, she was like, massaging my feet to like do lymphatic drainage. She was
Well,
like
she was
sending
7 months
me
pregnant.
items.
I had a
I was
1-year-old. Liz has two boys. Like we're all boy moms. So we were like, we gotta stick together.
yeah.
Well, and being 7 months pregnant, how were you able to keep your energy levels up? Because you're so energetic in the movie.
Like, I mean, if you saw me in between takes, it's like, and I'm like, just like dead behind the eyes, like this like dissociated look. I
Not
just like
true.
left the room spiritually and then like summoned myself back for the next take.
Summon myself.
Well, and Emma, you have a lot to say in terms of the science lingo in very rapid fire ways. What was your prep work like in order to accomplish those lines?
Wish and a prayer. No, I would like write everything. I'm a visual person, so I have to like write everything. I write everything like 100 times. But I just like say it over and over. I mean, I started like saying lines from the script before I had even gotten the part, which you could call crazy or manifesting or just a hard worker. I don't know, pick
Yeah.
one. But like when I was reading the script, I was like reading stuff out loud because I was so into it and in awe of it and inspired by it, and just thought it was so like it would be such a fun role to play because you do get to do both. You get to, show a young woman's intelligence, but also show that, she works at a bar and is maybe not where she wants to be. And that like both of those things can be true. And she can also save the day with her bestie. And I feel like we all like want to see that movie.
Well, and I feel like karaoke is one of the most vulnerable things that you can do in life. So, Emma, can you talk about performing karaoke for that scene in the movie?
Well, I won't take it personally that there was another karaoke song that was cut out of the movie. It was me singing Shania Twain solo. So you can talk to Liz about that. But no, I loved getting to do Counting Crows, Mr. Jones. We literally had like less than a day of rehearsal and just kind of, we just went with it, and it was so fun. And I thought it turned out really cute. And I mean, Tom Hopper is the most lovable guy, especially as Logan. And he just really like made me feel like I couldn't mess it up. So that was really, really nice of him.
Well, and Poppy, I have to know how many of your great one-liners were scripted versus you improving them, because there seemed like there was some improv.
I think at this point, it's hard to tell. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm certain that when we go to see Rex's like manatee contraption that she makes, that like Liz kept a lot of the bookend random stuff I was saying. Like I think as we were leaving, I was like, oceans don't have borders. I want a borderless world. I was like, that sounds like me.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite line in the movie, so I'm really glad that you brought that up.
Girl. This resume will never get you in, but let's make a few changes that will.
Dear NASA, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted.
So you are both the writer and director of Space Cadet, and so I'm curious as to why this was a story that spoke to you so much.
I, first of all, felt like we didn't have a girl space movie. Like I was doing all this reading into the astronaut training program after NASA announced that they had their first class of astronaut candidates where it was male, female. And this was this milestone a few years ago. And so I started to read about it, and like it clearly was a world that a movie should be set in because the people are so intense and particular. And then I was like, why don't we have our slow motion shot where we're like wearing jumpsuits and walking down a hallway? Like, why does Ben Affleck get it? And these amazing comedic actresses get it. And that's the kind of deep inspiration. No. So there was that. And then when I got into it, I think the thing that like really made me feel deeply about it was this idea of someone who's talented and qualified, but just doesn't have the resume, doesn't look like what people think, doesn't sound like what people think a scientist or a person of authority should, and proving that those people have real value.
Well, and Emma Roberts really comes alive in the role. Did you always envision her as Rex?
She was involved really early on, and she is like, I mean, I can't imagine anyone else embodying Rex the way she did, just completely. Like, Emma is so warm and so vibrant and so supportive and so funny. Like, she is all of these things that Rex is. And I was just very lucky that like she dove in and then brought so much more in terms of like physical comedy, and she's the best.
Well, and you don't want to be too hampered down by realism. So can you talk about the balance between realism and allowing the story to go from point A to B in an entertaining way?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's all in the tone. It's like if I had been telling an earnest drama and then suddenly tried to change the rules at the last minute in the third act, that wouldn't fly. But this is a movie that, you know, is kind of silly and more vibrant than real life the whole time. And when you have a tone like that, you can get away with moments where the audience is like, I know that this would never happen, and I'm laughing, and it's okay to laugh. That's what you're supposed to do. It's not gravity.
Well, and obviously you weren't given this big like gravity level budget for this. So can you talk about navigating the limitations of the space scenes? Because I thought you pulled them off very, very well.
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, I'll say like the budget was sort of perfectly allocated so that we, you know, put a good deal of money toward space, and then sort of the space sequence. And then we had a really brilliant VFX supervisor, Bernie Kimbacher, who's just like, he's very experienced, and he knew how to take what we had, which was part practical build, you know, the exterior of the space station and the capsule, and then add all of this dimension of space in VFX. And, you know, it was not gravity level, but we had enough.
I really enjoyed your role because despite being smart, he's a bit of a bumbler. And how do you balance the science lingo with those fun moments of levity?
Yeah, I suppose that's the trick. I mean, the script allows me to do the sciencey bit, fortunately, because I wouldn't be able to do that on my own. But then it's just up to me to try and make a fun character out of it. You know, I think Logan is. I really relate to someone like Logan because I think he's geeky, but there's also like a naughtier side to him that he's suppressed, which is part of the reason why he's bumbling all the time, I think, because he's constantly like, what's the right thing to say? What's the right thing to say? Don't say the wrong thing, say the right thing. And I think that's part of who he is, you know, and he's become that. Whereas then Rex brings out that side of him again, you know, the karaoke side, the guy who would get up on stage and just go and sing karaoke and have a drink.
He's a bit like a golden retriever.
what my wife says I am. She says I am. Yeah.
That works out perfect. How do you make sure that you show up with that infectious energy for filming?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think it's so important. I think to, especially when you're playing a character like that. But for a film with this kind of energy, you really want to be bringing the best version of yourself to set every day if you can. You know, because it is fun. You need to have that fun energy on set every day. Yeah. So yeah, you make sure that for me, like a big part of like so I can go to work feeling set is like I have to go to the gym or do some kind of training. Like I make sure that I'm eating right. All those things are so important for me. And also that everything is good at home. I need to make sure that my wife's okay, my kids are okay, because they might be at home, you know, alone without me. And I got to make sure they're good, and then I'm good.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like karaoke is one of the most vulnerable things that you can do in life. So can you talk about performing karaoke in the movie?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I actually love karaoke, and I don't even drink alcohol. So I don't know why I get these the confidence to go up there, but for some reason, I think there's something about like just diving in. You know, I love diving headfirst into things and trying to be fearless. And karaoke exposes you in every way, but actually, if you embrace it, then it doesn't matter that you're not very good. It's about that you're just doing it and having fun. Yeah. But actually, doing it on camera and shooting it for a movie. I actually did a karaoke scene in Umbrella Academy in season 3 as well. So I'd actually not long finished doing that before then doing this. So I kind of had like a little bit of a run at it to do it in front of the camera and stuff. So no, I love it. For me, it's just an opportunity to goof around and have fun.
Well, I think it's one of the very much one of the best scenes in the movie. And so finally, we've seen you in so many different roles throughout your career, and I know stunt work can be quite daunting. Do you prefer the more hands-on actiony roles or more of the romantic comedies?
I like both. You know, there's something so great about doing heavy action and doing a hard day's work where you've been fighting all day or you've been like in battle and you really kind of feel like you've earned the sleep at the end of the day, you know, and you feel like a little bit battle worn actually, and it's a great feeling. But then there's also something amazing about going to set and knowing you just have to walk and talk. And sometimes you have to, you know, sit and goof around at a desk and you get to wear jeans and a shirt and not have to wear chainmail and stuff, you know. So they both have their pluses for sure.
Is this thing hard to land or what?